Konnichiwa! You, dear viewers, me and Totoro are here for another unboxing. This is the last of the large boxes. However, before I get to it, I realized that yesterday there was one more item in the fourth box that I did not notice. So this is actually the last item that was in the box from yesterday. I mentioned that I really appreciate and I really enjoy purchasing and collecting very odd, unusual, bizarre anime items. This might be one of the most unusual and I could say goofiest that I've ever encountered, because if I can get this open sufficiently to demonstrate what this is, broadly speaking, this is a Sanrio Hello Kitty paperweight, but what it is specifically is a Hello Kitty rock. Yeah, this is an officially Sanrio licensed rock. It is a stone. This is the kind of thing that you go out and pick up in people's driveways. It's a rock with a Hello Kitty face on it. And it's a paperweight. It was also $8. I have to laugh, as you I'm sure are laughing. Why would you pay $8 for a rock that has Hello Kitty painted on it? The fact is, it's not just a rock with Hello Kitty painted on it. It's an officially Sanrio licensed rock with Hello Kitty painted on it. So that novelty makes it worth $8 to me. So, once again, we could use the stylish little Microtech knife to open a box, or I can just use an appropriate tool to open this box, which is partially open already. Oh, correction. The Hello Kitty rock was 500 yen. $5, but still, $5 for a rock with Hello Kitty on it. And you can't even smoke it. So, in this box, one of the first items I see is a large package of published material. The first item in here is one that I actually purchased as a gift for a friend. I have a close friend who is a fan of militaria and survival prepping. I don't know actually how enthusiastic or even knowledgeable of a fan he is regarding the Hobby Japan Pixel Maritan franchise. I am a fan of Pixel Maritan, although nowadays I wonder how many American fans even know what Pixel Maritan is any longer. But I've discovered that for 500 yen, there is a Mario Pixelton book of combat first aid. And so I thought to myself, my friend who loves militaria and survivalism and prepping would get a kick out of super deformed little adorable anime girls demonstrating in great illustrated detail and depth how to field dress bullet wounds and dismemberments and shrapnel damage, because that's what this book is. This unassuming looking magazine, which cost 300 yen, is actually the first published appearance of Kiyohiko Azuma's Azumanga Daioh. So you would figure Azumanga Daioh, that's one of the all-time classic anime comedies, right? Shouldn't its first appearance be worth something? Well, perhaps in America it might be. I don't think there's a big enough market for first appearances of manga domestically for them to even have an established value. But the fact that I was able to acquire the first appearance of Azumanga Daioh is going to be a treasure in my personal collection. That means that what this ought to be, indeed, is the matching first appearance, first published chapter of Kiyohiko Azuma's Yotsubato, as in Yotsuba and manga series. And I'm sure that you'll recognize her from the cover image. So now I'm pleased to have the first appearances of both of Kiyohiko Azuma's most famous comedy manga. Wow. Oh. I am shocked. This is a beast. I actually have one of these. Yes, I have one of these out on display in my living room, but the one I purchased at a Melon Books store in Akihabara for, I believe, 1,600 yen, loose. It did not have a box, so I had no idea how large the packaging for this is, because the box is gigantic on this. You can see the box is the size of my chest, and I'm a fairly average sized person. This particular figure was $4. So, setting aside the size of the package, you may or may not be able to tell through the packaging, but this is a very, very elaborate, especially gorgeous Valkyrie figure from the Puzzle and Dragon cell phone franchise. Now, you don't at all have to be a fan of or even familiar with Puzzle and Dragon. Just simply look at this figure and just be awestruck by how exceptionally detailed and how really, really lovely this figure is. This is, as I mentioned, so nice that even though I already have one, at the price I'm willing to buy a separate one that I can attempt to resell, possibly for a profit. I wore my Godzilla shirt yesterday because I anticipated finding the Godzilla items, but they are in this final box. I've mentioned before that I have a close friend, my best friend, who collects Bandai standard 8-inch size Godzilla monsters. He is close enough to a set that, practically speaking, the only ones remaining start in the $75 and up range in used condition with the tags. So in order for me to be able to afford birthday gifts for him, I now have to buy the event exclusives or the theater exclusive variants, because the variants, for whatever reason, are not as desirable among hardcore Godzilla toy collectors, and so they are actually a little bit more affordable. This one is one of 2 Baragon figures. We'll find the other one momentarily, I'm sure. Actually, we'll find him right here. This is the transparent pink version of Baragon. This particular Baragon was 1,000 yen. This particular one was 1,200 yen. So both of these are figures that I will use as either Christmas or birthday gifts for my friend who collects Godzilla figures. Here's another item which turns out to be more sizable than I anticipated. I was not as intrigued by, satisfied by Moyashimon as I expected to be. Moyashimon is an award-winning manga. I know that it has a large following of very devoted fans. However, I was disappointed that the bacteria play a much smaller role in at least the anime than I anticipated they would. However, when I realized that I could get a Moyashimon bacteria plush doll for 400 yen, I thought to myself, oh, this is just really neat. And this is, I forgot, does this tell me which bacteria this is? Orizae, yeah, this is Orizae. I'm an English teacher and not a biology teacher, so the scientific names of particular bacteria escape me. This is a figure I anticipated to be this size. I expected it to be much smaller than it actually is, so I'm very pleased that it's quite sizable and comes in a very attractive, colorful bag. The only problem now is that I don't know what I'm going to do with it or where I'm going to put it because it's much bigger than I expected. Along the lines of me collecting unusual items, one of my sub-collections is unusual Hello Kitty items. I believe Hello Kitty is exactly the same age I am, so I actually can say in a figuratively literal sense that I grew up with Hello Kitty. So I really love collecting unusual, unique Hello Kitty items. This is a Monster Hunter, a Capcom Monster Hunter figure in Hello Kitty cosplay. If you're unfamiliar with Monster Hunter, I'm surprised because for a number of years now, almost every video game that anime characters play in anime TV series has been either Monster Hunter or a clone ripoff, fictionalized version of Monster Hunter. Furthermore, I know that Constantine Films is currently developing an American live-action Monghun movie, and I know that Monghun itself has had multiple anime television series. I'm not a Monster Hunter fan, but I, as I mentioned, do love unusual Hello Kitty items. So that's why I was really happy to pick this up for 400 yen. This is an item that I could not resist because I really think unusual anime items are neat. This is Mazinger Papercraft. Now, actually, does this... Actually, this might have... I wasn't exactly sure what was in this, but this appears to be busts, like chest-up robots of two different versions of Mazinger and Getter Robo. Because the packaging does actually say Mazinger Getter Papercraft. This was $1. This was 100 yen. So this struck me as an unusual enough item that I was happy to spend 100 yen on it. I'm not actually sure. I haven't decided yet whether I will keep this for myself, whether I will pass this on to my close friend who does love vintage Gonagai robots, or whether I will put this up at the Necronomicon convention for sale. What I may do is put it up for sale. If it does not sell, then decide what to do with it. But this, as far as I can tell, does include the chest-up paper models of all three robots, which makes this really, really interesting for $1. Again, I'll re-emphasize that I am not a big follower or fan or devotee of the Toho franchise. However, I've learned that Mandarake manufactures a original Mecha Pacholi plastic model kit, and these are being clearanced for 100 yen a piece. So, for actually, it will be a bit difficult to tell. This plastic model kit is the Mecha Pacholi, and it does have a little super deformed Pacholi who actually sits in the head cockpit. I don't know, and yes, these are motorized. There is a tiny little motor in these, and they do wind up and walk. So, For 100 yen a piece, I bought one for myself, one for my friend, who I mentioned is both a plastic model builder and a fan of robots, and I bought one to put on a dealer table at Necronomicon because, after all, the merchandise cost was only $1, but then again, after my shipping cost, it ends up being closer to $12. But this is the kind of interesting thing that I'll put up and just see what happens. I mentioned that I did buy 2 Nyampire plush dolls. This one is the size that I expected both of them to be. So I'm very pleased that one of them turned out to be very large, but this one, as you can see, is mascot keychain or cell phone charm sized, but he was only $1. So, as I've mentioned before, $1 for a vampire cat from a Gonzo-produced anime series, who even has bandages on his tail, is very worthwhile to me, and I will gladly display this somewhere in my house for perpetuity. This, however, turned out to be much smaller than I anticipated. This is a plastic Sword Art Online standee figure. This was 100 yen. I expected this to be this size, if not bigger, but obviously it's much smaller. But I will put this up for sale at the Necronomicon convention in 2 weeks and see if anybody makes me a reasonable, moderately small offer on this, because I'm not expecting to or looking for a phenomenal profit here. If I was looking for a profit, I'd be a professional dealer, and I'm not. I've mentioned ad infinitum that I really love replica items and prop items, and so I thought that a replica patch from the Aka 13 Natsume Ono manga and television anime was really, really neat. This was 200 yen. However, it does appear to be brand new and unopened, so I can't really complain about the price. This does appear to have a stick pin on the back of it, so it does not require ironing or sewing on. However, I'm just going to leave it in the package and display it as is. I did watch all of the 12, or was it 13? It was probably 13 episodes to coincide with the title. The political conspiracy thriller anime television series from 2, again, doing this spontaneously, I want to say 2 years ago, so I think that this was a really, really neat item. I purchased 2 Dragon Ball Super cloth towels just because I think they're neat. There are 4 of them. At the time when I ordered these, I believe the Son Goku was sold out. So I decided, well, I'm just going to buy the 2 girls. It's Android 21, who I admit I'm not very familiar with because I don't play Dragon Ball video games. But I did buy the Android 21 and I purchased, obviously, Chihachiko. When I purchased these, I did not have in mind whether or not I was going to put these up for sale or keep them. Now that I have them in hand and look at them, I still don't know. So what I may do with this and the matching Android 21 is put them up on a Necronomicon dealer table at, I don't know, maybe 10 bucks a piece, or maybe like $15 for both of them, and see if anybody makes me a counter offer. And if they don't sell, then I'll put them into my personal collection. I did purchase these because they were 200 yen a piece, and I simply think that illustrated bath towels and things like this are pretty neat. Similarly, I did purchase another bath towel. This one, a Fate Grand Order bath towel. This one a little bit larger. This one, 400 yen. I'm not familiar with the character because I did not watch very much of Fate Grand Order, but hopefully the camera will allow you to see what the character is and what the image on this bath towel is. So this seems like an interesting enough item that I can take this to a convention, put $10 or $12 on it, and see if anybody makes me a counter offer, or see if anyone just buys it outright. This is the third of the Godzilla items that I purchased as reserve birthday or Christmas gifts for my close friend. This, I believe, is the last of the, what I consider affordable 8-inch scale Godzilla monsters that my friend Justin still needs. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I believe this is the male version Mothra, because the female version has a mouth open. And I believe the color, I think the female version is a lighter brown and has freckles and a mouth open, and the male version is the darker with a mouth shut. This, as you can see, this was $30, and the tag is in rough shape, but this is a relatively rare figure, and as I mentioned, after this, the price just starts to go stratospheric for the standard edition 8-inch Godzilla figure toys. Again, I mentioned that I really like anime replica items. You may have seen the full cock Blade Runner replica water gun, because I can't afford a Torinosuke replica Blade Runner pistol. But from the same manufacturer, this is obviously the Trigun replica water pistol. And because it's Trigun, and because this is Vash the Stampede's gun, I consciously purchased the red version, because of course it's Vash the Stampede in his red jacket. It does come with optional black handles that click on. This was 1,000. This one was 1,200 yen. The clear version is 1,000 yen. I believe the black and the silver ones go up to as high as 1,500 yen. I considered purchasing a second one of these to resell. However, I found that actually these are available through American importers in the $25 to $30 range. And so I figured if it's going to cost me $10 plus shipping, once I mark it up, it's not really worth it. It's not a whole lot cheaper than what someone can get one for domestically through, for example, an Amazon seller. So I ended up just purchasing one for my own collection. I'm sure that many of you will be aware that the remake or reboot Fruits Basket anime first season just ended last month. This is not a figure from the 2019 Fruits Basket, but rather a Pinky Street figure from the original Fruits Basket franchise. But I do have a number of Pinky Street figures, and after all, this is a Fruits Basket Toru figure. So as much as everyone loved Toru, I love the fact that it comes with transformed Yuki and Kyo. And the price on this was a very affordable $4. So I'm really, really happy to put this into my permanent collection. The seemingly last two items we have in here are posters. This, hopefully you'll be able to tell from the image, is a Detective Conan clear poster. That means that this poster is printed on semi-translucent plastic. These are also known as shower posters because they're printed on plastic, therefore they're waterproof, and you can hang this up in your bathroom or in your shower if you want to shower with pre-adolescent boys. Not why I purchased it. I purchased it because it was $1.50. And the last poster that I purchased was a Madoka Madoka Magica poster of the girls in ballroom attire. This is from the Revolution, so this is from one of the movies. And this wall poster in package was $1. So there is one box left of relatively small items. I hope you'll tune back in to see what's in that package when we open that one up tomorrow.